What the? Oh my god.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from real-life demons to lakes the color of blood that will leave you shocked. Ready? Well, let's jump in. Starting today's episode, we've got a clip that's been described as one to die for. No, seriously. The one who filmed this died shortly after. The clip was recorded by a couple of friends before one was mysteriously killed. They went exploring on a river with cameras strapped to their boat, hoping they would capture something interesting. They even had a spotlight attached to the boat. We're not sure if they'd been told the river had a monster, but that wouldn't matter because a few seconds into the trip, they noticed an unusual shape moving along the banks. Without wasting time, they turned on and pointed their spotlight in the direction of the disturbance, which exposed the creature responsible. It didn't look like anything they had ever seen. It was a large humanoid creature with fur and a head that resembled that of a canine. For a moment, they believed they were hallucinating, but it was not just one person seeing it. No, the whole group could see the creature, which ruled out the possibility of a hallucination. They kept their distance, recorded as much footage as possible, and then went back to show people. They even uploaded it online, hoping to find answers and share the discovery. Many who saw the clip believe it was a dogman. Some thought the whole thing was too convenient to be true and had to be a hoax. That was at least the case until one was brutally murdered. Once the murder occurred, people started to whisper. Though it was never confirmed, the rumor was that the young man who died was attacked and killed by a large and strong beast. This made others believe that Dogman was real and had executed the young man as judgment for disturbing his home and exposing him. While this sounds like a bit of a stretch, it's a narrative many have accepted as truth. What do you think? Still on strange creatures captured near a water body, take a look at this clip. When the clip starts, we're introduced to nothing but a rocky surface. Before you can start wondering if this is landscape videography, you get your answer. It's not. There's a ginormous creature moving on the rocks from the left. The individual recording pans the camera to the right, and a similar thing occurs. There's another creature coming into view on the right as well. Judging by their size in relation to the rocks, they look like they would be giants, but their bodies are also oddly shaped. The individual kept their distance recorded and then left the place. Once in a safe place, they uploaded the clip online and asked if the paranormal community knew what they were looking at. Some thought they were aliens, while others thought they had to be Bigfoots or human giants. I'm not going to ask the boys about this because I already know their opinions. You, on the other hand, may have opinions I haven't thought of, so what do you think we're dealing with here? Imagine exploring the woods at night and hearing this sound. I don't know about you, but I have a feeling my blood may run dry. This was captured, or should I say recorded, by a man who was just outside the woods one evening. It didn't sound like any sound he was accustomed to hearing, but that wouldn't be the last time he heard it. Naturally, the odd sounds began to worry him, and he took the internet to ask for help. Many who heard it were convinced either a Bigfoot or a Dogman was responsible for the sounds. Personally, I can understand why he thought that, but let's hear your thoughts. What do you think? While you share your thoughts on that, you might want to take a look at this. What comes to mind when you see this? The individual who uploaded this apparently saw this individual or being at a car park while waiting and concluded it was not human. According to the uploader, the image doesn't do him justice. There was an apparent ominous feeling coming from the vehicle the person was in. That, coupled with the scary face, made the uploader conclude that the man might in fact be a demon. Not sure how realistic that is, but many in the paranormal shared similar experiences and stated they believed what the uploader was saying. You've seen the image as well. What do you also think? This next clip comes all the way from Yellowstone Park. Enjoy. I know we've spoken about the big guy multiple times, and some of you have been skeptical about his existence, but does this clear it up? You see the large humanoid creatures walking through the park, right? Do you know any animal species that fits the bill? No? Well, what do you think we're dealing with then? Gorilla? Chimp? They don't fit the bill now, do they? That leaves one obvious answer: Bigfoot. Yellowstone Park has been described by many to be a Bigfoot hotspot, and if this clip is to be believed, then it's safe to say that might be true. There are some who make an interesting argument, though. They think it might be a doctored footage and one created by AI. When you watch the clip multiple times, you start to see what they mean. But then again, when you go fault-finding, you're sure to find something. Is that the case here, or is there something really wrong with this? If you haven't already been to the Pine Barrens in New Jersey, this clip might deter you.
They're bigger than my foot. Here's another one. I'm a size 10.
This lady was on a hike in the location when she came across these tracks. At first glance, they looked like they belonged to a bird, which is not too weird, but when the person filming puts a leg next to it, we see that they're not as small as we might have initially thought. The size of the footprint suggests they belong to an abnormally large bird, and that leaves us with a lot of questions. What exact bird is it? The Pine Barrens doesn't have any birds this size. This has led to some speculation, some among the paranormal community, which involves otherworldlies, aliens, and, well, science experiments. Some of them sound very convincing, others are meh. Instead of sharing them, let's hear what you also think. What do you make of it? There's some who also think that the lady made it up. If that's what you think as well, can you let us know?
They're bigger than my foot. Here's another one. I'm a size 10.
Next, we visit India, where this clip was captured. What comes to mind when you see this? UFO? UAP? The individual who uploaded this believes it's an alien ship. It looks like a ship with lights beneath it. I'm not sure why it's that visible, because these ships usually have the ships trying to cloak themselves. This one, on the other hand, is doing the opposite, but you have to wonder, why are there so many UFO clips of late? Also, how come they're becoming bolder in their approach and not cloaking themselves? Are they sending us a message? Is there something we need to prep for? These thoughts keep me up at night.
Every week, twice a week, I make deliveries to the same guy. I've been doing it for 7 months. and it's the same guy every time I walk in. He's got a big garage with like a couple trucks in it. I walk in, I hand him his parts, we talk for a minute, I walk away. I go on my business. Today,
this man believes he saw a demon, and it's no joke. He's a delivery man who has been making deliveries to a particular client. On one of the days, he visited to do his delivery as usual, but was met with an unusual situation. The man whom he's always delivered to looked different. He had dark eyes and funny ears, and his face was just odd. This caused the man to jump back, and the client even teased him for being jumpy. It was for a moment, and then the client's face went back to normal. This had him questioning what he had seen. It wasn't until he went back and realized the man had died a while longer, much longer than he had been delivering to him. The big question now is, who was he delivering the items to? Some think it's a ghost, while many others think it's a demon. Allegedly, there's a demon face syndrome ongoing currently. Here, we aren't talking about the medical condition. No, we're actually talking about the situation where people are seeing the faces of demons.
Listen up, y'all. There are beings that is walking this earth, and they are not human. I just came from Kroger's. I just got off of work.
This woman also had a similar experience. Now, the big question is the government infecting us with hallucinogens to see these things? Are demons becoming bolder in preparation for something? Or is it the Lord simply opening our eyes to the demonic presences around us? It's hard to say, but share your thoughts, as I'd love to hear them. Stepping away from all things demonic, we look to the sky. You see it too, don't you? That cloud definitely looks like a man in motion. Is this just a case of pareidolia, or do we really have something on our hands? See, I'm not saying much about this one. You guys are going to do that in the comments section. When we started working on this episode, I knew I was going to come across strange and bizarre clips, but nothing could have prepared me for this. Tell me you see that water is red. The one who uploaded this refused to add the location, but that doesn't change what we are seeing. We see a body of water that's all red. Now, I know of the Red Sea, but it's not called the Red Sea because it's actually red. So this had me thinking, and naturally I had to do the research. It turns out, yes, that there are several water bodies around the world that appear red due to unique natural phenomena. One common cause is red algae blooms, often referred to as red tides. These occur when certain algae, like Carina brevis, reproduce rapidly, turning the water a reddish-brown hue. While visually striking, these blooms can be harmful as they sometimes release toxins that affect marine life and extreme cases human health. Another example is Lake Natron in Tanzania, a highly saline lake known for its brilliant red coloration. This unusual color comes from microorganisms such as Halorokia, which thrive in the lake's extremely alkaline environment. These organisms produce red pigments that give the water its striking color. Lake Natron's vivid hue makes it look almost otherworldly, and it's a fascinating example of life adapting to harsh conditions. In Bolivia, Laguna Colorada offers another stunning redwater body. This shallow saltwater lake is famous for its reddish appearance caused by red algae and plankton that thrive in the mineral-rich waters. The lake is a stunning contrast to its surrounding white salt flats, creating a picturesque natural wonder that attracts visitors from all over the world. So yeah, there are actual red seas out there, only some of them aren't seas at all, they're lakes. Am I the only one who didn't know this? Also, please don't mention this to Julius, okay? Next up, we've got a glitch that's bound to get you thinking.
So, I've just had a glitch in the Matrix. I see people talk about this on TikTok all the time. I've never experienced it, but I need to show you guys. So I was just putting something away on the tabletop, and I saw this.
This clip was recorded by a woman who found something odd at her desk, a broken piece of an acrylic butterfly. Well, no big deal, right? Well, here's where things get weird. That butterfly was supposed to be behind her phone, fully intact, and the strangest part, she only has one of these, and when she checked, her acrylic butterfly was still perfectly whole. So how does this happen? Her conclusion, it's a glitch in the Matrix. I mean, it's gotta be. Now, I'll admit, this one's not the craziest glitch we've seen, but still it raises some questions, doesn't it? What's your take on this? Coincidence or something more? A homeowner in South Carolina experienced something truly unsettling when he was jolted awake by eerie noises echoing outside in the middle of the night. Rather than risk going outside, he opted to check his porch's security camera footage, and what he found was enough to send chills down anyone's spine. The video didn't reveal any visible creatures, but it captured the haunting sounds that filled the night air. These were no ordinary animal calls. The noise had a strange and unsettling quality, a mix of long, drawn-out howls and low, rumbling growls. It was the kind of sound that immediately sparked curiosity and fear in those who heard it. Many viewers of the footage commented that it resembled the vocalizations commonly associated with cryptids like Bigfoot or the mysterious Dogman. Some even speculated the eerie howls might belong to a werewolf. One viewer suggested it could be a black bear, while another thought it might be the call of the mountain lion. But the combination of those deep growls and bone-chilling howls left many baffled. What could this be?
Guys, I just got home and I see this hole in my wall, and next door I have a really creepy neighbor. Let's take a look. What the? Oh my god! Oh my!
In this video, a girl was doing something routine, cleaning, when she stumbled upon something deeply unsettling: a hole in the wall that led directly into her neighbor's house. The discovery sent chills down her spine, and it's easy to understand why. The idea of having someone having a direct view into your private space without your knowledge is the stuff of nightmares. The hole itself was perfectly round, almost too precise to be accidental, which only added to the creepy factor. It looked deliberately made, raising the unnerving question: who could have created this? Was it done by a nosy or possibly creepy neighbor trying to spy on her? Or could it be something more innocent, like a part of the original structure or a forgotten utility passage? Either way, the thought of someone peeking in on you while you think you're safe in the comfort of your own home is terrifying. This kind of discovery makes you rethink your sense of security, especially when it's as invasive as a hole connecting to another home. What would you do in such a situation?
Guys, I just got home and I see this hole in my wall, and next door I have a really creepy neighbor. Let's take a look. What the? Oh my god! Oh my!
A group of friends had set off on an adventurous night hike, hoping to explore the woods, when something spine-chilling happened. Take a listen to what they captured.
Going first.
Oh, no, go first. I'm about to take a picture of it. You gotta get lower than that. Look at him move.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh, it's about to catch something. Y'all ready to go back?
Yes.
Did you hear that? Loud, eerie screams, screeches, and howls echoed from deep within the woods before they even entered. The sounds were so disturbing that the group froze in place, their headlamps casting shaky beams of light around them. You can see the terror in their body language, standing still and clearly unsure whether to continue or run. Now, I don't know about you, but I would have bolted out of there the second I heard those sounds. It's hard to say what could have been making those noises. Were they wild animals, maybe coyotes or mountain lions, or something else entirely like the legendary cryptids people talk about? Either way, those sounds were enough to make anyone rethink their decision to wander into the unknown. What do you think could have been behind those terrifying noises? Would you have stayed, or would you have fled?
Going first.
Oh, no, go first. I'm about to take a picture of it. You gotta get lower than that. Look at him move.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh, it's about to catch something. Y'all ready to go back?
Yeah.
Here we have another unsettling piece of footage about questionable food quality at the supermarket. A woman, clearly suspicious, brought a magnet with her and decided to test the chicken she bought. Shockingly, when she pressed the magnet to the chicken, it stuck. This raises all kinds of disturbing questions. How could a magnet stick to a piece of meat? It's deeply concerning to think about. Chickens is such a staple food for so many people around the world, and the idea that there could be some kind of metallic substance in it is terrifying. Are we really eating meat in our chicken, or is it just some strange anomaly? What could be going on here? Mislabeling, contamination, or something else entirely? It makes you wonder about the quality control of the food we're putting on our plates these days. In the next footage, a man was filming the night sky when something strange happened. As he panned his camera, he noticed a shadowy figure seemingly falling from the sky. The figure plummeted silently and disappeared behind a tall building in the distance. It's hard to tell what exactly this could be. Was it some kind of creature, a bird, maybe even something paranormal? The way it fell was eerie, almost too smooth for a human or animal. Some people might speculate that it might be a malfunctioning drone, but without any clear footage or follow-up, it's difficult to say for sure. What do you think could explain such an unsettling sight? In the Bible, there's a lot of talk about signs of the end times, and many believe that current events align with those prophecies. One of the signs mentioned is the drying up of the Euphrates River. This video, shared by a man who visited the area, shows a dried up portion of the river with a hole in the ground. According to certain interpretations of biblical prophecy, particularly in the book of Revelations, it's said that when the Euphrates dries up, angels or demons chained beneath the earth will be released. Now, people are speculating whether this eerie sight could be connected to those end-time prophecies. Some claim to have heard strange, unsettling sounds coming from the area, suggesting something might be stirring underground. Could this be the release of ancient beings as described in the Bible, or is it just a natural phenomenon? Others are skeptical and suggest the sounds could be fabricated or misinterpreted. The drying of rivers is not uncommon, especially with climate change, but the addition of mysterious noises does make people wonder if there's more to it. What do you think this could be a sign of? Something biblical or just an eerie coincidence? Have you ever seen a cloud like this? An observer shared a video online of a very peculiar cloud formation that's left many people baffled. The cloud appears to have these straight, clean lines, almost as if it were shaped like a ruler. It's so perfectly outlined that it doesn't even seem real at first glance. It's not the typical, fluffy, irregular clouds we're used to seeing. This one looks unnaturally geometric, as though someone carved it out of the sky. Some people are suggesting it could be a rare atmospheric phenomenon, while others think it might be tied to some form of weather manipulation or even something more mysterious. Could this be natural, or is there something more going on here? This video is rumored to showcase a skinwalker, the creature from Native American folklore known for its ability to shapeshift. In the footage, there's something strange riding a horse along the seashore. The creature looks off, almost unnatural as it gallops by. Its appearance seems distorted, and the way it moves feels unsettling, like something isn't quite right. Now, some people are claiming this could be edited footage, which would explain why it looked so strange and unreal, but then again, there's always the possibility that it could be something unexplained. What do you think? This video, taken back in 2019, shows a figure walking from afar right in front of the woodland area. The figure appears to be ghostly, moving in an eerie, almost transparent way. Could this be a ghost or some form of cryptid? Some viewers have suggested it could be a spirit, given the translucent and ethereal appearance of the figure. Others have speculated it might be a cryptid, an undiscovered or mythical creature that hides in the depths of nature. Then again, it could just be a trick of the light, or maybe even an elaborate hoax. What's your take? Is this a paranormal sighting or something more grounded in reality? This video was taken in Sudan, and no, it's not a filter. They say it was a sandstorm, but when you look at the footage, everything appears red from the sky to the atmosphere. What's going on here? Sudan is prone to intense sandstorms known locally as haboobs. These storms can kick up massive amounts of dust and sand, causing visibility to drop and create eerie atmospheric effects. The red color you're seeing could be due to the particular composition of the sand, with high levels of iron oxide, which gives it that reddish tint. When light passes through a dense cloud of red-tinted particles, it scatters and makes the whole environment look like something out of a surreal alien landscape. Though these storms are natural, they can feel otherworldly, like stepping into a different reality. This woman just gave birth to a baby with an unusual appearance, particularly noticeable in the eyes and mouth. The condition is called harlequin ichthyosis, a rare and severe genetic skin disorder. Babies born with this condition have thick, hard patches of skin that form large diamond-shaped plates separated by deep cracks. The tightness of the skin around the eyes, mouth, and other areas can cause the eyelids and lips to turn outward, which gives the appearance you are seeing. This condition also makes the skin more prone to infections and other complications. Though it's a serious condition, advancements in medical care have significantly improved the survival rate and quality of life for those born with harlequin ichthyosis. With proper care, individuals can live more comfortably despite the challenges.
Anyone know what this creature?
Remember this footage from a few videos ago? Well, we finally figured out what that mysterious creature is. This, my friend, is a bristleworm, specifically called a bearded fireworm. These little guys may look harmless, but don't be fooled, they're not to be touched. Their bristles can easily penetrate the skin, delivering a painful sting that feels like fire, hence the name. The sting can cause severe irritation, swelling, and a burning sensation that could last for hours or even days. These creatures are usually found in warm, shallow waters of the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea, often hiding among coral reefs and rocky crevices. What makes them even more dangerous is how they feed. They scavenge on small sea creatures, and their venomous bristles are a defense mechanism against larger predators. Beautiful, but deadly. These worms remind us that nature's most vibrant colors often come with a warning. Would you dare get close to one if you saw it in the wild? Take a look at this video. It's of a very old-looking man lying on a bed, seemingly frail and pale, with an almost skeletal appearance. He's stiffly clapping his hands in time with the people around him, who are clapping and singing to celebrate his supposed 117th birthday. His children and loved ones surround him, but there's something unsettling about the scene. As you watch closely, the man's face seems unnaturally rigid. There's no blinking, no facial movement beyond the stiff clapping. Some people believe this man isn't a person at all, but some sort of lifelike robot or animatronic. His skin looks almost waxy, and the lack of any natural human expression has raised suspicions. Could this be some advanced AI creation made to look like an elderly person, or is it just a rare glimpse into the frailty of extreme old age? Have you ever heard of the Moon-Eyed People? They're a mysterious group often mentioned in Appalachian folklore, said to have pale skin and large, wide eyes, sensitive to light, which is why they could only see well at night. Legends claim these beings once lived in the Appalachian Mountains before being driven away by the Cherokee tribe. Now take a look at this image. It shows the heads of two beings eerily matching the descriptions of the Moon-Eyed People. Their large, round eyes are unmistakable, almost otherworldly, and their pale, ghostly features give off a haunting vibe. Some say they might have been an ancient lost civilization, while others believe they were otherworldly visitors. This image captures that eerie essence, leaving us wondering if there's truth to the legends of it, or if it's all just a strange coincidence. This video is from China, and it's definitely raising eyebrows. In the footage, there are massive glowing lights illuminating the sky from behind the clouds. What's really odd is that the lights don't seem to be part of any cloud formation. They look too solid and focused to be natural. Some viewers are quick to say this could be evidence of a UFO hiding behind the clouds, using them as cover to stay out of sight. It's easy to see why people are drawn to the idea of something extraterrestrial. The way the lights hover and seem to move subtly makes it feel like there's something intentional about them. Could it be some kind of advanced technology at play, or maybe it's just a strange weather phenomenon? Whatever the case, the footage certainly leaves room for imagination. Pareidolia has often been the go-go explanation when people see shapes or structures in clouds, such as the large city-like figure captured in this footage. In this case, the clouds form an illusion that resembles a shadowy cityscape with towering structures appearing to loom in the sky. Pareidolia refers to the tendency of our brain to see familiar shapes like faces or buildings in random patterns. However, many viewers of this footage believe that there is something more to it than just a simple visual trick. Some speculate that this could be evidence of another civilization, one that exists in the sky, potentially hidden or cloaked from human view. The idea of sky cities or advanced civilizations being concealed from us by some form of technology or natural phenomenon isn't new. It's a theory often linked to concepts like holographic projections, alternate dimensions, or even glitches in reality that momentarily expose these hidden worlds. What do you think? Could this be a hidden city accidentally exposed by a glitch, or is it just another case of pareidolia? The internet is filled with bizarre and unsettling content, much of which remains unexplained. Take this video, for example. It's downright creepy. In the footage, you see a man sitting in a dimly lit room, eating hastily from a bowl with a large cooking ladle. As you focus on him, someone dressed in a dark robe with a cotton mask over their head appears from behind. This person stands next to the man, gently patting him on the back as he continues to eat. What's even more disturbing is the man seems to be crying while eating. On the table in front of him, the contents of the bowl have spilled, giving the whole scene an eerie, chaotic vibe. As the video continues, another figure dressed identically to the first joins in, also patting the man's back in an almost ritualistic manner. Rumors circulating online suggest that this man might be forced into cannibalism. Some even speculate that he could be eating members of his own family. However, there's no confirmation of this, as the whole video remains a mystery. The whole scene is unsettling, from the cryptic behavior of the robed figures to the man's distressed demeanor. What do you think is happening here? Could this be some dark ritual, or is it all just a staged, eerie performance?
Can you see the shadow? The shadow of your hands, of my hands? Can you see the shadow? Okay, when I say 1, 2, 3, take your hands away. 1, 2, 3.
Magicians have a lot of tricks up their sleeve, but some believe that certain illusions might actually delve into dark magic. Take a look at this footage, for instance. A man asks a woman to hold her hands out, pointing her index fingers at him. He's on the other side of the table, gently holding on her fingers, and he begins counting to 3. Now you can see the shadows of their hands cast on the table. After the count, the woman pulls her hands back from the man, and this is where it gets creepy. Her shadow remains on the table for a brief moment, delayed even though she's already moved her hands away. The eerie delay in the shadow's movement completely throws her off, and you can see how she jumps back in shock. What do you think this is? Could it be a cleverly executed illusion, or are we witnessing something darker and more mysterious?
Can you see the shadow? The shadow of your hands, of my hands? Can you see the shadow? Okay, when I say 1, 2, 3, take your hands away. 1, 2, 3.
An adventurer was out in the woods at night, likely hoping to capture something thrilling, but his adventure was cut short when he started hearing eerie sounds. It wasn't just any sound, it was the screams of a woman yelling, "Help me." He looked around, searching for any signs of someone in distress, but found nothing. Feeling uneasy, he quickly left and returned home. In the comments, one person shared a chilling experience. The person yelling in the woods, "I heard the same thing. A woman. It was very scary, actually. Still comes to mind after 5 years." Many people in the paranormal community would call this a classic case of skinwalker activity. Skinwalkers are said to mimic the sounds of humans to lure in the next victim. But what would you do if you heard someone calling for help in the woods, especially in the dead of night? Would you investigate or trust your gut and leave?
Grandpa isn't here right now.
Grandpa here.
No, he isn't here. He's gone, Molly. What are you looking at?
Grandpa.
Grandpa, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Have you ever seen those devices where dogs can press buttons to communicate? It's fascinating. Dogs can form simple sentences by pressing the buttons, but one dog owner shared a truly unsettling video that's been circulating online. In the video, the dog keeps pressing the button that says Grandpa. Grandpa is here. The owner, confused, responds, Grandpa's not here, yet the dog continues to stare at the couch while pressing the button repeatedly. What makes it even creepier is what happens next. Two distinct dents suddenly appear on the couch cushions, as if someone had just sat down, marking the shape of thighs. The owner is visibly freaked out, as it seems the dog might have been seeing Grandpa after all, even if no one else could. Could the dog have sensed something supernatural? What do you think?
Here.
Grandpa isn't here right now.
Grandpa here.
No, he isn't here. He's gone, Molly. What are you looking at?
Grandpa.
Grandpa, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Take a look at this incredible discovery from the deep sea. The footage shows a diver next to a strange-looking creature, which turns out to be a bigfin squid, also known as Magnipina. What's amazing is that the squid in the video is not even an adult, just a juvenile. The real shock comes when you zoom out and notice an even larger bigfin squid in the background. This highlights just how enormous these creatures can get. Adult bigfin squids are known to grow up to 15 feet in length or more, making them one of the most impressive and enigmatic animals of the deep sea. The size and scale of these giants are truly mind-blowing. Hopefully my calculation isn't off. If it is, forgive me. I'm beefing with Julius currently, and I can't ask him for help. This video was shared online by a family who had been living in a house for many years. There was one room that had always remained locked, but after years of curiosity, they finally decided to open it. And what happened next is chilling. As they open the door, one boy steps into the room and immediately complains that he doesn't feel well. The room itself is just cluttered with old papers and belongings, but one thing stood out. A strange Santa doll encased in a wooden box with a glass door. The boy felt unwell, then decided to light sage in the room, speaking out to whatever presence might be there, telling it that it wasn't welcome. Not long after, he suddenly exclaimed that his back was burning. When they checked, they found scratch marks on his lower back. It seems whatever entity was in the room wasn't too happy about being disturbed. What do you make of this footage? Could this be real or just another internet mystery? What do you see? It looks ancient and prehistoric, doesn't it? Like a creature straight out of those dinosaur documentaries with CGI reconstructions of prehistoric times. But what if I told you that this is no CGI creation? What if I told you that this is an actual capture from the wild? And no, those were not hypothetical questions. The creature you see on your screen is actually real. Is it an alien? No. Is it a clone of some dinosaur from the dinosaur age? No. And a big no to all the hypotheticals in your mind. The creature on your screen is known as a gharial, an endangered species of crocodile native to the Indian subcontinent. Yes, that's right, it's a crocodile, but one that's unique from the crocodiles you're used to seeing. This particular species, scientifically known as Gavialis gangeticus, have long, slender snouts which distinguish them from other crocodile species. Their distinct thin snout, which can be up to 2.5 meters or 8.2 feet long in length in adult males, is filled with interlocking needle-like teeth that are well suited for catching fish. As freakish as they look, they're not aggressive towards humans and only like to eat fish. So rest easy, there's no nightmarish-looking croc coming for you. But bear in mind these animals are considered endangered and protected by law, so do not by any means go hunting one. You might just regret it. Still on scary stuff, we have a Trailcam capture that's the real stuff of nightmare. Have a look. Yep, that's an actual being with a skeleton-like head. As usual, the individual whose Trailcam captured these scenes was expecting a rare and beautiful image of some of the creatures that lived in the woods. Instead, he was greeted with this, which looks like what Ghost Rider might look like if he had flames put out. But do you think this image is actually real, or do you think someone is just playing practical jokes on the owner of the trail camera? Look at the image. Personally, I have so many questions and concerns. Instead of boring you with them, I would straight out state what I think. I think the whole thing is an elaborate hoax. Many in the paranormal community don't, however, think so, and some have stated that they have encountered stuff like this whilst in the woods as children. So instead of straight out dismissing it, I thought I'd include it and ask you guys, have you ever encountered anything like this in all the decades that you've lived? If you have, what was the experience like? Please share with us in the comments section. We'd love to hear them. A truck driver went to work one morning, just like every other time, to go about his usual routine. But guess his surprise when he went to his truck and opened the door. The wheels of the truck were moving violently and the gear moving up and down. The truck was not moving or even ignited, so what in the world could be going on here? It's like the truck's got a mind of its own. But last time I checked, trucks don't come equipped with brains, right? I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure trucks don't do this. So what's the deal here? Is it some kind of auto-gymnastic routine, or maybe the ghost of a truck's past owner taking the wheel for a spin? I guess we may never know. Well, look at this mysterious bundle of joy. We've got a creature on our hands, and it's not exactly winning any beauty contests now, is it? After all, it's a hideous-looking creature that has the appearance of a baby. It also has very pale skin with razor-sharp teeth, spotting a strange smile that says, "I will eat you for dinner." Now, I don't know about you, but I'm seriously questioning who or what decided to create this little bundle of nightmares. Was it Mother Nature being sinister, or did some mad scientists decide to hit the Create Creepy Baby button in their secret lab? Share your thoughts. Unlike the first video we perused, this just took a rather gaudy turn. On the outskirts of town, three men embarked on a curious escapade into the woods, eager to uncover any oddities that caught their attention as true explorers. Indeed, you might be thinking what I thought. Why choose the pitch-black hours of the night for this adventure? As they ventured into the woods, one of them carried a camera and a source of light to illuminate their path. Little did they realize that the nighttime pursuit would lead them to a creature with sinister intentions. Their progress seemed steady until a sudden and jarring interruption brought everything to an abrupt standstill. In the heart of nowhere, a lifeless body lay sprawled on the ground. Hovering over it was a peculiar creature. A hybrid with oversized goat horns, a goat's countenance, and a humanoid form. Caught in the act, the creature responds by waving its hand dismissively before redirecting its attention back to its newfound feast. Now, without casting any shadows of doubt, it's my view that this might be a hoax, plain and simple. The peculiar creature in question appears rather mascot-like, especially with that all-too-human wave. It's almost as if it's engaging in human antics. Next, we have this unsettling piece of footage captured by a trail camera situated in the heart of the woods. The footage starts off as your regular trail cam footage involving wild animals. We have coyotes featured in this clip, however, they look like they're going about their usual nocturnal business, perhaps hunting for some food. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? Well, at least that's supposed to be the case until you notice those pairs of eyes stalking them. Whatever those are, it looks like they could be ginormous creatures, maybe even a Bigfoot. One thing worries me though, it looks like our little canine friends are oblivious to the presence of those creatures, which is quite weird. If you know anything about those canines, is that they've got keen senses, especially their noses. If those two large creatures are close enough for their eyes to be picked up on the trail cam, then they're also close enough to be noticed or at least smelt by those coyotes. Since that's not what's happening in the footage, a part of me feels like this whole thing might be doctored. What do you think? The Lockheed CL-1201 was a proposed high-speed aircraft developed by Lockheed in the 1960s. It was developed to be a supersonic transport capable of carrying about 250 passengers at speeds faster than Mach 2. Comparing it to a famous building, the wingspan of the CL-1201 would be comparable to the height of the Statue of Liberty, while its length would be equivalent to about 2/3 the length of a football field. The design included a delta wing and 4 engines with a focus on transatlantic flights. Unfortunately, the project didn't advance beyond the concept stage due to various challenges in the US government's decision against developing a supersonic transport. Today, the CL-1201 serves as a historical example of attempts in the 20th century to create practical supersonic commercial aeroplanes. What do you think of it? Is it something you would love to sit in? Tell us in the comments section. We travel back in time to the Canadian mountains in the year 2020. If you are wondering what makes this mountain special, it's simple. A gondola came crashing down the mountain. The incident shook everyone given how neatly its cables were cut. Just in case you didn't know, such cables are typically made of thick steel, and that will require a lot of effort to cut through. Not to talk about the noise and the fact that at least 3 men are needed to do it successfully in at least 15 minutes. Here's the thing though, the security saw and heard nothing. How were they cut then? Well, no one knows. This man suggests that the culprit might be none other than the elusive Sasquatch. Why? Because according to him, no human could pull off such a risky feat without getting caught. After the incident, security was beefed up and they even had thermal cameras. But after spending millions to fix the cable and upgrade the security, the incident repeated again, with no culprit caught. The only difference was this time they captured footage of a massive creature roughly 8 to 9 feet tall. There are not a lot of humans that fit this bill. Could it be the work of a Sasquatch, as the man says, or is there a more ominous reason? Share your thoughts. We know moose can get quite large, but this is just ginormous. Canada's vast wilderness often conceals the most astonishing spectacles of nature, and this footage captures one of its most magnificent inhabitants. Behold, a giant bull moose whose stature stands as a testament to the majestic wilderness it calls home. Stretching its formidable frame to a towering 7 feet, this creature commands awe as it moves its head studying its surroundings. And as befitting for such a king, it's the crown upon its head, the antlers that truly steal the show. As the lens captures this titan in all its glory, one can't help but ponder if it were crafted in a laboratory rather than born of the wild. The muscles, the mass, the sheer magnitude of this creature, it's a sight that borders on the surreal. A living testament to the mysteries of the natural world. So a call out to all our nature lovers out there. Have you ever seen such a beast? Do you have captures? Could you bless our email with them? Thank you in advance. Have you ever had to deal with those children that rang your bells and ran as soon as they rang them? Well, what if you had a camera to record and know which kids in the neighborhood did that to your bell? It would help, right? Well, I guess that's what the owner of the Trailcam that recorded this footage thought. In the footage, we observe a light-like object approaching the door. Once this light reaches the door, the bell starts ringing, leaving you with questions. What is this light and why is it ringing the bell? It's not a one-time occurrence that you could dismiss as a fluke or error. It happens multiple times, leaving you wondering what's really happening. That's what the owner thought and uploaded the footage online expecting to receive some help. All who saw it were also shocked by the whole thing. They unanimously believed that it had to be a ghost. Honestly, I'm inclined to lean toward the ghostly explanation as well. Yet some paranormal enthusiasts suggest it might be a bug or cobweb, which isn't entirely impossible given our camera experiences. However, the logical explanation still leaves the question of why the bell rings. So what do you personally think? Are we dealing with a bug or cobweb, or is there an actual ghost out there? Or could the whole thing just be a clever attempt to mislead us? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. A Trailcam owner came across this strange image on his device. Take a look. At first glance, he couldn't make out what it was until he enhanced the footage. Once it was enhanced, it appeared to have captured a large creature walking through the dark. The creature was about 7 feet tall. It fits the classic description of a Bigfoot. All who saw the footage in the paranormal community believed it had to be a Bigfoot. My team thinks so too. Personally, well, I don't know. There's something off and I just can't put my finger on it. What do you think we're dealing with here? Nature's heartwarming moments. Take a moment to soak in the beauty as a generous monkey shares its apple with a tortoise. It's like a scene straight out of a harmonious jungle tale. There's something profoundly beautiful about witnessing different creatures showing kindness and sharing in their unique way. Don't you agree? I don't remember the last time someone shared their apple with me. Well.
Están adentro, güey. Ay, güey. Vente, adentro, güey. Acá adentro.
A team of ghost hunters ventured into a ghost town to explore in the dead of the night, and what you were seeing is the footage they captured. They started by checking out the buildings, which were all empty and mostly untidy. As the tour continued, they were brought to a halt by a sound, something like a scream.
Ay, acá. No sé, güey.
These fearless adventurers go around to find the source of the scream but come up with nothing. They continue their search once more, and then they are once again interrupted by another loud sound. It sounded almost as if like someone was throwing something at them. Naturally, they were frightened, and you could tell by how they jumped back. You'd think they'd turn back after this, but no, they went on to investigate the sound, but still found no one. As they proceeded with their quest, they noticed a figure from afar ignite a fire. It was hard to tell what or who it was, but they hoped that at least it was human. The lurker kept moving the fire in the air, almost as if it was warning them off the property before throwing the fire at the boys. After a while, the figure stops and the boys head in that direction, but as usual, they get there and there's no one there. They enter another room and see a cloaked figure from afar, and it also goes away as they get closer. This left the boys puzzled, and many of those who watched the video were puzzled too. Do you think the whole thing is legit? Thousands do, but we're not one of them. It looks too convenient and poorly executed, if you ask me. I mean, which sorcery can only throw fire a few centimeters away from himself? Not impressive at all. But what are your thoughts? Do you think this is real, or do you think those boys set it up for views? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Stepping away from the mysterious and unknown, we have wholesome footage that's sure to make your heart warm. Have a look. Yep, that's a chimp, all right, and yes, it invited that man over to fetch water from the stream so it could drink. It's not always you see something like this. It's surreal, almost dreamlike, like a scene from the Chronicles of Narnia. It's obvious that this chimp must have grown up around humans given the way it's comfortable around the man. And you have to give the man props for not overreacting and going along. All in all, this is a beautiful scene in an otherwise chaotic world. What do you think? Is this an experience you would love? Here we see a tornado doing its thing as a force of nature on a rampage. Just look how it blows a car off the ground and bangs it back down. And the trees, they look like they're about to be uprooted from the ground. The most terrifying part is the sparks, which I'm suspecting might be coming from the electrical poles fixed in its path. The last thing anyone would want is to be near something like this. It's both terrifying and mesmerizing at the same time. Don't you agree? Next, we visit the mountains of Romania. This is one of those unaware clips where the individual in question captures something without knowing it till he's home. Enjoy. This is the image he captured. If you look closely behind the pile of twigs, you'll notice a creature with a striking primate resemblance. You don't need to zoom in to have an image of Bigfoot take over your imagination. As intriguing as the capture is, we've got to ask, why was Bigfoot there? Was he stalking the man? Did they accidentally cross paths? Or did it have something sinister planned? Either way, you have to agree that the man is quite fortunate that despite being so close in proximity to the creature, nothing funny or remotely dangerous happened to him, even if Bigfoots don't have a reputation for being violent. Would you visit a place called Dogman Forest? Well, these YouTubers thought it was a good idea to do so, and do so at night.
That was no geese.
That was like a howl. How annoyed is it?
Is that goose?
A few minutes into their expedition, however, they hear an ungodly and unnatural howl. Stunned, they try to investigate and find the source of the howl. This leads them to a location near a flowing stream. When they arrive, the howls suddenly stop and they assume it's because of the rushing stream. Pay attention as they speak. Did you catch that? There was a creature moving in the background on the roof of the house behind them. Take a second look. Yup, there's definitely something or someone moving on the roof behind them. They and the majority of their subscribers believe it's the Dogman, and they believe the howl stopped because they were close to the Dogman. The Dogman became quiet because it didn't want to give off its position. That certainly sounds logical and plausible, but what do you think? Do you believe that's actually what happened? Tell us in the comment section. Next, we have another footage of Bigfoot, which, although blurry, has been accepted by Bigfoot enthusiasts and the rest of the paranormal community as being authentic. In the footage, we see an ape-like creature with an almost human-like gait moving briskly through the forest. Oblivious to the fact it's being filmed, the creature, which is more brown than black in regard to the color of its fur, is described as maintaining a Bigfoot posture despite moving very quickly. According to Bigfoot experts, this is not a posture a human can attempt to maintain while moving that fast. The footage became so popular that almost everyone featured it, including some television stations. I find anything hard to dispute in this footage, and I'm leaning toward the fact that this is the real deal. What about you? Are there horned men in existence? Well, if you answered no, our next footage might surprise you. Take a look. Imagine a well-built guy rocking what looks like a legit horn sticking out of his noggin, all while donning a snazzy skirt made of dried leaves. Talk about a fashion statement. See what I did there? I sounded young and hip. Kudos to myself. Now you're probably thinking, wait, can humans even grow horns? That's a valid question by all standards. Sadly, it's one of varied and contradicting responses. I mean, well, it's not natural, but that doesn't make it impossible. We literally have a man on our screens who appears to have. Maybe this guy is a different species altogether, or perhaps Mother Nature decided to spice things up and give him an upgrade. As much as I want to roll out the wild theories, there's also the possibility that it might be a cultural thing. Some places around the globe are known for unique body modifications. Perhaps this is a modification that's done among his people. But since we cannot verify that, we're left to speculate and theorize. What's your theory? We're back in British Columbia again. This footage was sent in by a man who went fishing only to come across some tracks around a riverside. The soft soil on the ground had molded on it 3 perfect tracks. There were several of the footprints around, which were much bigger than his size 10 feet. The prints were about 15 or more inches and were pretty deep in the ground. Now, this fisherman's no stranger to these prints. He's been spotting them regularly and believes that Bigfoot lives around there. Now that you've seen them yourself, what do you think? Beautiful, isn't it? Looks like a thing from a fairy tale or Pixar movie, but it's not. Discovered in 2009 by zoologist Dr. Arthur Anker in Venezuela's Gran Sabana region, this moth is a unique find. The insect was snow white from head to toe, but for its eyes and dark spots for its wings. Despite this footage, there's a bit of mystery and controversy over the moth. Despite its discovery in 2009, there's very little information available about this moth, contributing to the ongoing controversy. Many don't think it's real. In fact, some think it's basically the silk moth wrongly identified. If the confusion and controversy prove anything, it's that we have a lot more to learn about our planet despite being here for thousands of years. But to our moth lovers and experts, what do you have to say about this one? Could you clear this up for us? Instead of introducing our next footage, perhaps I should let you watch and form your own opinions. Have a look. What do you think this creature is? It looks like a large reptilian lizard, but moves like a snake would. Although it does have legs, it almost looks as if it were slithering on the ground. If we know anything about lizards, it's that they don't move like that. And if we know anything about snakes, it's that they don't look like that. Some who saw it thought it was a creature from the underworld. Others also thought it was a prehistoric creature that had found a way to survive and remain hidden until now. But let's take a critical look at the video. If you look closely, you'd realize that it's missing its front limbs. If you have been a long-time subscriber on this page, then you know that crocs and gators sometimes lose their limbs by accidentally biting off each other's legs thinking it was meat. Sometimes it's also due to aggression. I have a strong feeling that this creature might have been a victim of such. That would explain its odd look and movements. That sounds more plausible than any of the explanations I mentioned earlier. What do you think, though? Also, is that a croc or a gator? Tell us in the comments section. Talk about blending nature with the digital age. Check out this beetle. It's not your ordinary everyday insect. No, this is an electronic masterpiece. Imagine these robotic insects made of cameras and microphones weaving their way into places we'd never suspect. Guess what they could be used for? Spying and planting chaos everywhere. While some argue it's just an art piece, the unsettling truth lingers. If artists can do this, then what about tech experts and scientists? Surely with the advancements we've made in microchips, something like this is possible, yes? Either way, it reminds me of Spy Kids. What about you? Conspiracies about celebrities being reptilians have existed for millennia. In this clip, we see a little girl interacting with Elvis Presley when suddenly she looks seriously at his face. Upon closer inspection, one may notice that one eye looks bigger than the other, almost as if it's morphing or molting. What makes this situation suspicious is that a man comes and blocks his face from the camera and another guy touches his eye. The very one that looks weird. What do you really think is happening? Was he shape-shifting, or was there something else at play here? If only we could find that little girl and ask. If you thought that was weird and strange, then most likely you haven't seen this Trailcam capture. Imagine waking up to review the photos your Trailcam took only to find this. You might rub your eyes in disbelief thinking you are seeing things. You might probably tell yourself that you saw a wolf and mistook it to have a human form, only to take a second look and realize it's no fluke at all and you're actually not seeing things. An actual wolf-like creature with a humanoid body and nearly human facial expressions is captured staring at the lens of your trail camera. What would you do? Personally, I won't revisit that area again, at least not until and not without holy water, but this trail cam owner posted it online to warn others. Bless his heart. What would you have done in such a situation? Tell us, as we really want to know. But you know, we can't move to the next footage without scrutinizing this. Do you believe it's real, or did we shower a lot of blessings and show a lot of respect to a man who only wanted his 5 minutes of fame? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Still on the bizarre and strange, take a look at this next trail cam capture. What does it look like? Claws, right? But what creature could have claws like that? What kind of creature could possess such claws? At a quick glance, they resemble humanoid hands, even a bit like primate hands. I mean, look closely and you start to see it. Although the hands look like they belong to a primate, the nails make it clear that they don't. Even if it is a primate, the creature in this trail cam footage seems enormous. Gorillas are indeed large primates, but the angle of the capture implies something more humanoid, and as we know, gorillas are not humanoid. So is this some unknown creature roaming the woods? Or could it be a cryptid, say, Bigfoot? Share your thoughts in the comments section, as I'd really love to know what you think. Someone found this strange-looking sea snake in the waters and brought it home. The snake has these strange green things on its skin. They look like fur or hair of some sort, but aren't snakes supposed to have scales? Well, there's a hypothesis. Some believe these are sea snakes. Yes, they're sea snakes and they're known to spend a significant amount of time submerged in water. The hypothesis is that algae or other marine organisms can attach themselves to their bodies. Seaweed and other plant-like organisms are believed to be able to provide camouflage by blending the snake's appearance with its surroundings. It's believed that's what we're seeing here. If this is the case, the belief is that it's supposed to make it less conspicuous to predators or prey. Additionally, this type of symbiotic relationship can offer protection by potentially deterring predators that may mistake the snake for something unpalatable. Unless, of course, they love salads. What do you think? This terrifying footage from Russia allegedly shows us the moment a meteorite struck Earth in 2013. As you can see, as cars are going back and forth, there was a huge flash in the sky. The 2013 Chelyabinsk meteor event made people more aware of the dangers associated with objects from space coming into Earth's atmosphere. I certainly wouldn't want to be anywhere near any of these when they crash. I'd definitely love to live a bit longer. Everyone loves to think that a weekend off in a cabin somewhere in the woods or a farm in the countryside might be relaxing and fun. Personally, I think so too, but it doesn't always turn out like that, and this next footage is a classic example of that. The individual recording this footage went to live out on his farm hoping to have a good time. This was soon interrupted by strange sounds from a creature he couldn't see. Listen.
Whatever reason, they're pretty close to the house this morning. Just out of sight, like usual.
You hear it, don't you? He eventually dismisses it and has his girlfriend come over and she hears it too, this time on the roof. He goes out to try and chase whatever or whoever it is, but found nothing or nobody. The sounds continue for a few more days until he runs into the creature or perhaps one of them on one of the cold nights. He sends verbal warnings to the creature, but because he could not see it, it's hard to tell what he's dealing with. The camera's quality and the low light makes it difficult to tell what it really is. And given we can only see its eye shine, we can only speculate. Many in the paranormal community believe it could either be a skinwalker or a rake, but what do you personally think? Now, believe me when I say we have seen all sorts of things on trail cams, but never seen what I'm about to show you on a trail cam. Just in case you didn't know, that's the Grim Reaper. And just in case you didn't know, the Grim Reaper is known as the personification of death across many cultures. He's usually depicted as a dark hooded skeletal figure carrying a scythe, which is exactly what he is carrying in the capture. He usually shows up to collect the souls of those unfortunate enough to be at the point of death. So imagine knowing this and having him show up on your trail cam at night. If that's not freaky, I don't know what is. But of course, we have to question the authenticity of this capture. Is it real, or is someone seeking their 5 minutes of fame? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Technology and AI are advancing so fast that it is almost terrifying. Just take a look at this display in Vegas. The footage was taken by a passenger on a plane. He was filming what you see on your screen. You can see that the display starts with a round thing, and then as the image changes, we see a bottle image from it, and move upwards, it looks almost real, like a giant bottle, but it's fake. It's cool, sure, but it's also a tad bit terrifying, not because it's dangerous, but because it's unreal what we can do with technology these days. The scary part is that AI is basically involved in a lot of things of late and has become like that overachiever student acing every subject. So what are your thoughts on this? Is this really in Vegas? If it is, have you seen it? If you haven't, do you find it cool? Tell us in the comments. On that note, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now before I send that creature after you. On a more serious note, it really helps out a ton and gives us the opportunity to keep making these videos for you. So please do so and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you very much. Yes, these are actual trail cam captures. Somehow the owner of this trail capture got lucky enough to capture not one, but 2 different Bigfoots near his campsite. According to him, he'd set it up so he could confirm once and for all if the rumors that Bigfoots live near their home were true. And boy, did he find out about their existence in grand style. I mean, it's either that or people found out what he was doing and decided to troll him. Looking at the capture, however, I'm tempted to believe that this is real. What about you? While the clarity of many creatures often leaves much to be desired, our curiosity remains undeterred as we delve into the content. Let's unpack this particular one. Deep in the remote wilderness, this intriguing footage was captured. As we analyzed the video clip, we're greeted by serene natural landscape, lush trees, cascading grasslands, and flowing water body. However, amidst this natural splendor, an enigmatic dark figure comes into view. The figure appears blurry, possibly due to the low quality of the trail cam footage. This blurriness raises curiosity about its true nature. Speculations arise that this could be another Bigfoot sighting, a notion not entirely implausible. But the question lingers, is this entity covered in hair? What is the purpose of this creature's presence? Moreover, what could have compelled it to remain so motionless for an extended duration? Some suggest Bigfoot may possess cloaking abilities, making this dark, tall, and lean figure even more intriguing. But is that possible, though? We find ourselves at a loss for words on this one. While this particular footage is questionable, the idea of Bigfoot with cloaking abilities isn't entirely over the top. Or is it? Let us know in the comments section. And speaking of odd captures, take a look at this next one. Am I the only one who thinks that looks like a Bigfoot? Sure, it does look like an ape at first glance, but a closer look shows that despite its fur and ape-like body, it's actually standing and moving upright, something that apes aren't necessarily associated with. Only one creature, however, has long been associated with such features. Can you guess which? Yes, the cryptid, Bigfoot. Judging by the creature's appearance, it seems to be a mature one. Upon closer examination, my team and I zoomed in and noticed that it appeared to have a baby on its back. Take another look. Do you see it now? A baby Bigfoot? Ever heard of such a thing? If you answered no, you aren't alone, and that's what makes this piece of footage profound, as no other image like this exists. What do you think, though? Real or cleverly planned hoax? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Next, we have a curious case from downtown Flint, Michigan. Take a look. The footage was sent in by a man who was more excited than he was knowledgeable about what he'd discovered. Nestled in the tree on your screen is a hard structure that looks like a stone with markings from ancient times. But from what we can tell based on the footage, the stone is buried deep in the ground as far as the roots go, and maybe deeper. The man claims this tree has been around for possibly 200 years or more. If that's true, how on earth did this thing end up inside the tree? Could it be a structure, perhaps from an ancient civilization, mysteriously embedded in the tree's core? It's hard to say, but my money is on that as the potential outcome. A woman and her kids decided to take a breather in the woods and just have some fun. But imagine the terror of the woman when she spotted a huge creature among the trees. The creature had dark fur and bulging muscled arms. It was stalking the woman and her kids. The frightened woman called out for her kids to get inside. The creature, when it realized that it had been spotted, dashed off. It looked like a Bigfoot, but its head had this peculiar look that did not tally with our image of a Bigfoot. Its arms were also abnormally large and muscular. Yes, Bigfoot has large arms, but not like that. So what's the deal here? Is this Bigfoot's gym buddy or just another creature adding a dash of mystery to the woods? Not knowing what she was dealing with, this mom was not taking any chances as she made everyone move back into the vehicle. I'm no prophet, but I can bet that she and her kids won't be making plans for a woodland picnic anytime soon. Have you ever wondered how the ancients looked at our celestial bodies during an eclipse? Well, I have a useful tip that will enhance your eclipse viewing experience. Instead of purchasing expensive eclipse glasses or finding other ways to view the eclipse directly, you can use a simple household item to create a projection of the eclipse. All you need is a bucket or bowl of water and a sunny vantage point. By placing the bucket or bowl of water in a spot where it can reflect the eclipse, the reflection will project onto the surface inside the container, allowing you to view the eclipse safely and clearly without staring directly at the sun. This method is a safe and cost-effective alternative to traditional eclipse viewing methods. Be sure to give it a try during the next eclipse. It seems that not only planes can experience mid-air mishaps. Recently, this fascinating video surfaced on YouTube. In the clip, we can see a bird that appears to be stuck in mid-air. This phenomenon is often associated with a glitch in the matrix, a term used to describe unexplainable occurrences that defy the laws of physics and reality as we know them. The video, which has since gone viral, shows the bird suspended in the air, seemingly frozen in time, with its wings spread out as if it were flying or at least trying to fly. Now, is this another case of the parallax effect as well? Well, I doubt that. The angle from which the clip is being shot should not lead to the effect. This leads us with a couple of possibilities. The bird is indeed frozen in time, there's a glitch in the matrix, or this is CGI. At least that was my hypothesis. I gleaned through a number of the comments on the original post and found something rather interesting. This user, for instance, stated that the issue only existed because the FPS on cam was not in sync with the speed at which the bird was flapping its wings. Another mentioned that it might just be a kite. As varied and diverse as these opinions were, a majority of those in the community believed this was real and possibly a glitch of some sort. If our next clip proves anything, it's that the pace of technological advancement can sometimes leave us wide-eyed, or in this case, possibly red-eyed. In this extraordinary scenario, this man has a smart eye lens on with a charger discreetly positioned on his eyelid, which is also connected to another device on his temple. It's like living in a sci-fi movie, isn't it? Before you think of getting yourself one, take a good look at his eye. Just look how red his eye is. It leaves us wondering if this is even safe to use at all. Now, it seems we're not just inseparable from our gadgets, they're actually becoming a part of us. How do the rapid advancements in tech make you feel? Do you think we're improving the quality of our lives, or do you think that we're headed on a path of irreversible self-destruction? Share your thoughts. Back in 2005, a company driver decided to take a leisurely walk through the woodlands of Quebec, Canada. As he was walking through, he came across these beautiful waters in the middle of the forest below. He decided to take a few pictures and some videos. After he retired home to review the footage, it was then that he saw a strange creature looking up at him. The creature was standing behind some bushes on the right side of the image. Do you see it? Initially, he thought it was a Bigfoot, but this one looked very different. It was bipedal and about 6 to 8 feet tall. It had a dog-like face, unlike a Bigfoot, and had a longer snout. The head of the creature was triangular with silver hair on it going all the way to its shoulder, but the rest of its body hair was black. The creature was also holding a white furred animal in its hand that looked like a dog, and its face had a red stain on it. So our guess is that this creature was munching on this dog. What creature are we looking at here, though? Many in the paranormal community believe it's a dogman. Looking at it, I don't blame them for thinking so. You have seen it too, so what are your thoughts? In the video footage, a bright and unusual light is seen in the night sky. As the footage progresses, a glowing circle emerges from the light and begins to move around in the sky. It looks like some sort of portal. However, there is something about the whole scene that suggests it could be a hoax. The comment section of the original uploader is filled with people speculating about the authenticity of the video. Many individuals believe that the footage is computer-generated imagery, CGI, while others think it could be a blue beam projection. It's difficult to say what the truth is, but one thing is certain. There's definitely something odd about this clip. I just can't put my finger on it. Can you? What do you see when you look at the sky? It looks like a ring of light of sorts, right? A glowing white circle which has somehow found a way to be suspended in the atmosphere. Naturally, all who saw this were puzzled. What could this be? One thing we can be certain of is that it's definitely not a cloud. Clouds don't look or act like that. Once this was shared in the paranormal community I belong to, different individuals came up with different theories. The most prominent of these theories was that we were looking at a portal to another dimension. Now, I get why people will think this. The concept of aliens and interdimensional beings has been a part of human culture for millennia, and seeing this will certainly bring them to mind. The only thing is, not many of us have actually seen a portal to another dimension, so our ideas of what it looks like come from movies and books. This led many others to also conclude that this may just be CGI. Which of these groups is right? Well, we can't say for sure. No one's seen a portal before, so we can't discredit this being one even if it looks a little funny. I mean, if it's interdimensional, what if other dimensions look slightly different from ours? That possibility doesn't mean the video can't be made up. Some of these things can be created using editing software on PCs even. AI is capable of these things now. That gives some merit to the thought that this could be CGI. Which of these is the most probable reality, though? That I will leave to you to decide. Next, we visit Uganda to experience the mystery of the northern and southern hemispheres. This clip was recorded by some individuals at a tourist destination in Uganda. People come here to experience the differences in two hemispheres. First, they stand at the northern side and pour water into this strange funnel thing and then put a flower in it. Once they do that, the flower rotates clockwise, but when they cross over to the southern hemisphere and do the same thing, the flower rotates anti-clockwise. This simple experiment, if we can call it that, demonstrates how our planet's rotation affects things. Julius says it's called the Coriolis effect. I'm not a science whiz, so can someone tell me if he's telling the truth or not? If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more of these videos for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. This snowboarder was filming after he'd fallen off his board when all of a sudden, this happened. A strange object flew over his head. It was so fast you almost wouldn't notice it, but with the slowdown of the footage, we're able to make it out. It's a flying disc that looks like a saucer. Could it be one of those famed alien crafts, the kind often whispered about in extraterrestrial tales, or is there a more grounded explanation, such as it being a human-made drone simply cruising through the wintry air? Some skeptics say that it's all just movie magic, edited to make us guessing. But what do you think? A hoax or real-life alien craft? My money is on the hoax part, but I'd love to hear you too. Just a quick reminder before our next clip comes. If you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a Sasquatch after you now, would you? Before you dispel the bird clip, take a look at this one. We only get to see them drop out of nowhere. I have seen this clip before, and we have even featured it here on this channel some months ago. The hypothesis from authorities is that the birds could have inhaled something toxic or been shocked electrically whilst flying. That sounds logical, right? I mean, I also accepted such an explanation in the past. But when I connect this clip and the one just before it, the previous one sort of makes sense. Now, hear me out. What if these birds were also somehow frozen in the atmosphere and they just dropped when they unfroze? What if whatever glitch that's been happening didn't work well with these birds and they lost control for some seconds after the glitch ended? I mean, I know this is a bit of a wild one, but think about it and let me know your thoughts in the comments section. That doesn't mean we're done with Mars just yet. Take a look at this fascinating capture. The image displays what appears to be a pale head and shoulders wrapped in dark robes. The figure resembles a monk who's in deep meditation on the ground. The photograph has sparked debates among researchers and space enthusiasts about the possibility of life on the red planet. However, it's difficult to confirm the existence of monks or any other life forms on Mars since there is no concrete evidence to support such claims. The planet's harsh environment and lack of oxygen make it an inhospitable place for life to thrive. At least, that's what we've been told. The site has had many talking, but let's take a breather and think of things logically. The planet is supposed to be extremely hot, right? So how could the man be sitting there and meditating? Also, does his presence mean humans made it to Mars, or does it point at the fact that there are species on Mars that look like humans? From a logical standpoint, this is just ridiculous, but then again, we live in a strange and mysterious universe. Anything is possible. For once, almost 95% of the online community where this was originally posted believe it's fake. They think it might have just been taken on Earth or edited. The black and white nature of the footage does little to help its credibility too. I'm tempted to side with those who think it's a hoax, but what do you guys think? While on a family stroll, a man and his family discover something interesting. It's a peculiar rock structure that's shut tighter than a treasure chest should be. He suspects it could be a secret government facility or one that leads to aliens. Now, I'm not one to jump to conclusions, but this is giving strange, weird, and suspicious vibes. It's like the beach's version of Fort Knox, but made of rocks. The big question is, what on earth could be tucked away inside? That, I guess, we'd never find out.
To the ground again. What if this is a freaking government secret door or there's aliens behind it? I don't know, you tell me. Bye.
Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. Now that's a deer party you don't see every day. So you wake up one fine morning, stroll into your garage, and boom, you've got an audience of about 30 or more deer just chilling and giving you the deer in the headlights look. Talk about an overwhelming wake-up call. I mean, where did they all come from, and why are they just hanging out in the garage and staring at the guy like they own the place? And get this, the guy's not bothered in the slightest and just goes out to feed them. Is he running a deer spa in his garage, or does he just throw some snacks out regularly? Maybe they've got a deal. Who knows? Now, I know all the talk about glitches and what have you can be weird, but there are a number of videos on the internet that seem to support the fact that we're living in a simulation. Take a look at this one, for instance. How, I ask again, how? How does it keep burning even after it's been disconnected? A number of individuals made jokes like this, and quite frankly, I can understand them because it's not something you would expect to see every day. Almost everyone who saw it called it a glitch. A few individuals, however, believed it was great editing and CGI. I get why they might think that, but is it true though? Is this truly computer-generated imagery? Well, given the limited information we have, whatever we decide is the case will be like taking a leap of faith. This time, however, I would leave the final conclusion to you. What do you think is going on here? Stepping away from robotics, did you know only 2% of your DNA codes are for proteins, with up to 98% of your genome not coding for anything? This is something scientists refer to as dark matter. Nobody knows the exact functions of these DNA and RNA sequences, or why they're even present at all. One thing scientists can, however, agree on when it comes to dark matter is that it helps in regulating and determines how nearby genes are expressed and in which type of cells. Scientists have found thousands of genes in the dark matter, and yet, despite their dedication to uncovering the truth, they don't know what these do, not even their role in disease. They've also established that a number of the dark matter regions remain the same in humans, mice, and other living creatures such as chickens. Scientists concluded that although they didn't know what these were or how they functioned, they must be vital to our survival, especially when you take into consideration our evolution over millennia. In a study, some researchers altered the dark matter of some mice, and it led to abnormalities in their brains. They then concluded that dark matter could be related to brain diseases like Alzheimer's. Interesting, don't you think? Well, wait till you find out that up to 50% of the material in your gut does not match any other living creature in our known world. Wild, right? But that's a story for another day. Before we move on to the next one, do tell me something. Would you camp out in an area rumored to have Bigfoots just to prove their existence? Or does this sound like a dumb and unsafe idea? Share your thoughts in the comment section. You know, there are times when I pretend to not know something just so you guys can tell me what it is. Well, this isn't one of those times. I genuinely have no idea what the creature in the next clip is. Perhaps you can help. Does it look like anything that you've ever seen or handled? No one in my team knows what it is, and I certainly don't have an idea what it is either. I've combed the internet, but just didn't know how to describe it to bring it up. Given the fact that the one recording the footage is wearing gloves, I'm pretty sure it's either poisonous or venomous. But what is it really? If you have answers, please share them with us in the comments section. We really want to know. A hiker came across this strange structure in the middle of the woods. It was a cave made out of branches that had been carefully put together. Who or what could have made this cave in the middle of the woods? Some skeptics are leaning toward the idea that this might just be a hunter's hideout, but the true paranormal enthusiasts are throwing their bets on it being a Bigfoot cave. Because, nothing says Bigfoot was here like a carefully crafted branch cave. What do you think is the truth behind the structure? Is it just some DIY project by an over-enthusiastic camper, or did Bigfoot pull a grand design move in the heart of the forest? When we board a plane, we expect it to take off and move through the sky to our destination. However, imagine if the plane somehow got stuck in mid-air. Sounds like something that belongs to a sci-fi movie, right? But no. Yes, that's a plane stuck mid-air. According to the one who sent the clip in, it happened as he was driving through town. He looked up and then saw a small plane seemingly suspended in the air without moving an inch. Baffled, he recorded the whole thing and placed it online. Many who saw it believed it had to be CGI. Others thought it was an illusion. The comment section of the original post was nothing but a war zone, with each person stating why it was what they believed it was. Now that you have seen the clip, feel free to join the battle. What do you think we're dealing with here? Before you join in though, take a look at my favorite of all the comments. Take a look at this footage. A man dressed in all black is walking down the stairs of a building when suddenly, out of nowhere, a body appears from the ground and bounces aggressively. The man seemed alarmed by it and even almost tripped over the strange being. However, he manages to hold his ground, turns around, and stares at the lifeless body that just appeared out of nowhere. It is bizarre, I must say. Did the body somehow transport itself from another dimension, or is it possible that a person is being returned from an alien abduction? It's hard to say given the limited number of seconds we get to see the clip. Some in the paranormal community, like this lad, believe the lady, assuming the body is really feminine, fell, but that's a hard pill to swallow. There's no evidence showing a fall from any height. Secondly, there's no blood, and a bounce isn't exactly what you would expect from a fall on such a surface. The alternative is a glitch, which many have ascribed to. Others argue that it's teleportation. But like I said, this is something we can never be really sure of. What do you guys think? Are there elements in the clip I missed that might explain the mystery? Please share your insights. Well, here's a head-scratcher that takes us to the skies. A humanoid figure draped in a long white robe, arms outstretched, floating in the great expanse above. Now that's definitely not your everyday sighting. When it comes to mysterious figures in the sky, the usual suspects are aliens or, of course, a well-planned hoax. But when it comes to this, even the skeptics are throwing a curveball into the mix. They suggest that this could be a blue beam projection. For those new to the channel, blue beam projections refer to a concept rooted in conspiracy theories that stipulate that governments and other powerful individuals or institutions are using advanced technology to create holographic illusions in the sky, often for deceptive or manipulative purposes. Proponents of this theory suggest that such projections could be used to simulate supernatural or extraterrestrial events, leading to widespread confusion and speculation such as this footage here. It's a stretch, I know, but think about it. Once you've done that, please share your thoughts in the comments section, as we'd love to know what you think. Now, the next one is a tale that takes us to the Black Sea, where curious tourists in 2023 stumbled upon a strange sight. They captured footage of not one, but 2 or 3 mysterious beings in the water that resembled none other than the legendary Loch Ness Monster. These creatures had a distinctive small head and long necks, features that resembled the said creature. For those not familiar with it, the Loch Ness Monster was reportedly first seen in modern times in the year 1933. Since then, there have been many alleged sightings of the creature from all over the world with images. This one is no different, but do you think this will be the very first one that leads to the creature? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Next, we have another alleged clip of the Mars rover that shows a small insect walking on it. This sighting is particularly fascinating considering that there has been no evidence of life on Mars to date. The insect appears to be a small creature with a distinct shape on the rover's surface. Naturally, this led to a lot of mixed reactions online. While many wondered how a fly could survive on such a harsh planet or how it got there in the first place, one particular user called our outlook arrogant. In his own words, it's arrogant to assume we know where life can exist based on the conditions on our planet. To an extent, I agree with him. What if the conditions for life on other planets are very different from ours? For instance, we all know how fragile snails can be, but did you know that there are some snails that live in volcanic regions? If we were using what we know about our ordinary snails, then those volcanic snails should not exist. But here we are. They are even a wonder to many scientists. In the same vein, perhaps we could be measuring the possibility of life on Mars using the wrong metrics. Anyway, back to the discussion. As the discussion and debates raged on, some individuals pointed out that, although we were looking at a rover, this particular rover was not on Mars but in the desert. If this is true, it's certainly disappointing, but then again it doesn't change the facts we mentioned earlier. Perhaps if we want to discover life on other planets, we need to stop looking at things through the lens of our own planet. Surely we can use that as a starting point, but it shouldn't be the only lens we wear. A sharp departure from our mystery videos, but still, do check out this amazing mirror cabin. It's a super cool piece of modern architecture that's made of reflective steel. The steel is so reflective that the cabin blends right into its surroundings, making it look like it's almost invisible. It's stunning and so fascinating to look at. Plus, the inside is just as impressive as the outside. The designers went all out to make sure that every inch of space was comfy and convenient. You've got to see it for yourself to believe it. Imagine hiding out here during an apocalypse. No, wait, why did I think apocalypse and not something romantic? Well, this is a mystery channel after all. So, would I get one? Well, let's just say it's got me daydreaming about a futuristic hideaway of my own. After all, who wouldn't want to ride out to the end of the world in style? Next, we have another mysterious sighting in the air. This time, it's a horizontal-looking object gliding over the woodlands of Colombia. It's the classic story of an unidentified flying object reigniting the age-old question: could it be an alien spacecraft or maybe some otherworldly device? The possibilities are as vast as the starry skies. What do you think of this horizontal marvel? My mind thinks it looks like a frisbee, but the paranormal community says it's extraterrestrial. So let's hear your opinions as well. What do you think we're looking at? Next, you might want to take a look at this strange encounter. As you can see from the clip, someone was burning something when out of nowhere the flames flared up and a bizarre fiery figure took shape. The woman who was standing by the blazing spectacle and the person behind the camera both took a hasty step back, and looking at it, I would have rushed out of the place. But knowing me, I would have returned as well to find out what it was. Having seen it yourself, what do you think it could be? Some in the paranormal community believe this could be a modern-day encounter with a fire demon. According to Aaron, that's most likely the case. But what about you? What do you think is going on here? When we observe an eclipse, it's always from the Earth's perspective. However, this time, let's take a closer look at it from space. The following image was captured by a Starlink satellite during an eclipse on Earth. At least, that's the narrative that came with the original post. Being the inquisitive me, I checked to see if it was true, because you know how it is on the internet. Surely enough, it was. The satellite appears to be moving around the Earth, and the eclipse appears as a patch of blackness on the Earth. The contrast between the bright areas of the Earth and the shadow of the eclipse is striking. From the satellite's perspective, it looks like a black hole or some other mysterious object, adding to the eerie feeling of the image. It's incredible to see this phenomenon from a different perspective, and it reminds us of the vastness and complexity of our solar system. Stepping away from the Martian possibilities, we move back to Earth, where one of us has apparently lost touch with the Earth. In the clip, we see a man floating in the sky with no tethers or anything, either pulling him up or holding him down. The sight is a strange one, and it has led to many discussions and interpretations online. Some think the man is possessed, while some think there's something invisible holding him up. Many others wanted to believe it was a hoax, but there was a law enforcement officer there, which adds a layer of authenticity to the whole thing. There were some who also thought it was an otherworldly being, perhaps a soul reaper. As with many of these clips, we don't have a lot of background information, which makes it very hard to determine how authentic they truly are. But then again, you see the whole thing, don't you? What do you think we're dealing with here? Next, we visit the borders of the Kentucky Islands for some strange and quite frankly spooky vocalizations. Imagine hearing this while chilling in your cozy island abode or sipping sweet tea or whatever islanders do. There's no way you'd recover from it. I don't know about you, but they sound like howls and barks combined that are echoing throughout the woodlands. We did some further analysis on the audio and realized that they don't sound like any animal we know. The vocalizations, however, hint at a very large creature. Given the fact that the area is known to have Bigfoot sightings, we don't have to go too far to guess what we could be dealing with, do we? Ah, the classic mysterious lights in the night sky scenario. You gotta love those. So a Facebook user spots this curious sight. Not one, not two, but 4 enigmatic lights just doing their thing in the night sky. It's like someone threw a handful of glow sticks into the night sky and called it a day. They look like they belong to some kind of spacecraft. It also looked like all 4 lights did not belong to one craft, but 4 separate crafts. Who could they belong to, though? Alien visitors? Is the military practicing some secret maneuvers? Or maybe just some unusually coordinated sky lanterns having a night out? It's hard to say, but you're allowed an opinion. What do you think? Someone also posted a similar situation where they saw more than 2 heavenly bodies in the sky. In a video that captured this event, two crescent-shaped objects appeared to be descending toward a larger, brighter sphere that was below them. As these objects got closer to the sphere, they vanished for a brief moment due to the brightness emitted by the sphere.
It's two figures in the air. It's two figures in the air.
Some people who've seen the footage suggest that this could be a reflection of some kind, while others believe it could be something else entirely. It's unclear what these objects are or where they came from, but there are a section who are refusing to think it's anything out of the ordinary. What about you, though? What do you think?
It's like 4 suns lined up.
Mars is a planet that has long fascinated scientists and astronomers alike. It's often referred to as Earth's backup planet, with some experts believing that it was once teeming with life and greenery similar to our planet. To better understand the planet, its history, and potential for life, many robotic missions have been launched to the planet. Researchers have made some fascinating discoveries from these missions. One of the most notable findings was a long streak on the planet's surface that ended in a curve that appeared to be a craft of some kind, possibly a saucer-shaped object. This discovery raised questions about whether there could be intelligent life on the planet and whether they could be responsible for such an object. In 2020, scientists deployed a device to the planet's surface to measure Mars quakes. However, they were surprised to discover strange, unexplainable noises coming from beneath the planet's surface. These noises culminated in a loud howl, which left the scientists wondering what could have caused it. Some experts believe that it could be evidence of life beneath the surface, while others think that it could be something more sinister. More recently, in March 2021, a rover was sent to Mars to capture visual footage of the planet. While analyzing the footage, scientists noticed something in the sky that resembled a bird. To confirm their suspicions, they placed a pixelated image of a bird next to the object, and the two appeared almost identical. This discovery was particularly intriguing as it suggested that there may be avian life on the planet. Not everyone buys into the bird theory, though. Some NASA experts mentioned that a helicopter named Ingenuity went with the rover for the expedition. That made me think we were dealing with that particular helicopter, but it didn't match the captured image when placed side by side. Some suggested dust particles, but that would have been captured on all 4 images and not just one. Some also think it might be the foil of rover's insulation that might have blown off some minutes before it landed. While these sound plausible, many enthusiasts want to believe it's alien. The fact that no definite explanation can be given for a number of the situations described here has led many to hypothesize that there could be life on Mars, whether it be intelligent or microbial. While there is still much to learn about the planet, these discoveries have piqued the interest of individuals around the world. You have seen the clip yourself. What do you think? Back in 2022, this image was circulating on the internet from the US. With little info on where the image came from, determining what this creature is has been nothing but a hustle. In the picture, we can see a dog-furred creature walking in a river. The creature was roughly about 7 feet tall and bipedal. Experts who came across the photo have examined it thoroughly and have tried to come up with a logical explanation as to what this is. But as far as we can see, this clearly looks like a Bigfoot. No bear or monkey has a posture like this. If you think otherwise, share your thoughts with us in the comments section. A group of men found this strange-looking creature that looked like a snake with 4 limbs. Critically inspecting it, one can tell that it's indeed very strange and unlike any reptile we've ever seen. It's what someone would describe as a hybrid of a snake and a lizard. Its long neck is crooked, but unlike your typical snake, this thing doesn't go all out with the tongue action. It keeps it classy, tongue firmly in its mouth. You can't really tell if this creature is legit chill and just vibing with the guys. It could also be scared out of its wits because, well, let's be real. Imagine being discovered by a bunch of dudes. You could be giving them the side eye too, right? Aaron showed me this footage a while ago and said it's a man-made rock. Honestly, I didn't know what to make of it, so take a look and tell me what you think. In the video, you can see a dusty human-like head pushing its way through a rectangular hole. The texture looks whitish, almost like stone. It struggles to squeeze through, then retreats back in almost as if it's alive. Is this some kind of cryptid, or is it really a man made of rock like people say? Could this be some strange creature, or are we just looking at an incredibly well-done special effect? And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I will see you in the next one.